Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and in this video, hopefully, Xur is where he's supposed to be. This is like my fourth take. I've logged out, changed characters, gone to the tower, checked Nessus. I know he's in the tower now, but he's not been there about 4 times. That being said, we are going to record the Last Word podcast tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time right here on twitch.tv/Ebontis. So stay tuned for that one. You can jump in, chat live, and be part of the discussion. Also, Xur will be here, as usual, from Friday until daily reset on Monday. He's finally here. This guy's really starting to tick me off. Anyway, just a reminder, daylight savings time does happen this weekend for us here in the United States. So on Sunday, the daily reset for Destiny will switch over to 10 a.m. Pacific time. And at that point, it's going to be the daily reset and weekly reset time going forward. So that being said, let's see what this guy's selling. Since he finally showed up, this is 17 minutes later. So if you have issues finding him, trust me, you're not alone. All right, before we jump into the inventory, real quick reminder, of course, buy your exotic engram. If you have as many shards, remotely as many as I do, it gives you a chance at a random roll on an exotic you already have, or if you're missing some that could be in here, you can work on completing your collection. All right, let's go through his inventory. First thing we've got is the Monte Carlo. Now, this is one that came with Shadowkeep. It was back from Destiny 1, but it is actually a really cool weapon because if you like melee abilities for your character, whether you be a Titan, doesn't really matter. If you like melee abilities, there's some really cool synergy with what this weapon does. Your perk is dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge your melee ability with each kill. So overall, it's an auto rifle, 600 RPM, decent RPM, so it's actually a pretty fun auto rifle to use. And just the fact that when you deal damage, you're always getting melee energy, and if you're killing a bunch of like random little guys, you could just fill up your melee right away. So overall, fairly cool. You've also got Markov Chain. This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills from this weapon. Melee kills grant ammo for this weapon. So overall, you're going to have melee damage and abilities pretty much all the time, and you're going to be shooting this thing pretty consistently. So overall, it's a fun weapon to use, and if you need like ability kills for things like Guardian games that are coming up in about a month, this is not a bad way to go. Always having your melee ability up nearly just kind of on demand as you shoot your weapon. It's a really fun thing to use, and if you get some cool melee abilities, if you're say you're running the Unstoppable Melee mod for your character on the season, Artifact, here you go. Always have that melee never too far away. So if you don't have Monte Carlo, make sure you buy it. It's kind of a must for some cool builds and situations. Overall, if you don't have it, just check it out. It's a blast. All right, for the hunters, we've got the KnuckleHead radar, and perk here is pretty straightforward. Upgraded sensor pack. Provides radar while aiming, enhances your radar resolution while crouched. So pretty straightforward, but the idea is, especially if you're newer to PvP, don't know all the maps, trying to learn where, enemies could be coming from, you can be a bit more ADS if you're staying in the back or looking down a lane pretty consistently ADS and still not get flanked because your radar is going to show where enemies are. And then if you crouch, for example, you're going to have an even more defined radar. So overall, it's good for map awareness. And on top of that, you've got 21 recovery, which is actually pretty solid for PvP. Other stats are okay, but mobility 9 on a Titan, or 9 on a Hunter, not terrible. Strength 14, Discipline 8, Intellect 9, those are fine. But the fact that you have a PvP-based helmet with 21 recovery, not too shabby. Total overall 64. I've done multiple lost sectors recently and got under 60, so if you think this one might be good, stat roll is actually not too shabby to learn some PvP. For the Titan, we've got the Synthoceps. Perk here is Biotic Enhancements. Increases your melee lunge range. Basically, I think it gives you like 1 more meter. It's not a bunch, but it gives you a little more. Improved melee and super damage when you are surrounded. So if you are running around with a super around a bunch of enemies, you're actually going to be able to do more damage to those bigger enemies, which is nice in Battlegrounds. So this is actually not a bad thing to run around with because you're able to kind of smash a lot more things and be more effective if you're punching up close. So overall, this is actually not a bad thing to consider for Battlegrounds, just to blow things up a little quicker. Your stats here are 60. Now, unfortunately, the 2 that are low are like the worst that could be low. So the fact that you have 3 in recovery and 2 in intellect is really, really sad. Overall total of 60, but the fact that you've got 14 in mobility, not my favorite. Now, at least strength is 11. So as this is a melee-based thing, 11 strength is not terrible. But as also this is a super-based thing, 2 intellect kind of sucks. You've got resilience, which is good for Titan. Discipline. If that was moved down to intellect, I could work with this one. But the fact that you've got 2 in intellect, this roll kind of hurts. If you don't have it, buy it, add it to your collection. It's still good to have, but not probably an epic stat roll here. Now, on the other side of epic stat rolls, we have Winter's Guile. Now, the perk here, I'll give and take on this one. Eliminating enemies with melee attacks increases your melee damage. So if you punch something with your melee, or you do a Celestial Fire melee, and you can get your melee back, you can do more melee damage. Well, guess what's going to help you there? Monte Carlo. So again, if you don't have Monte Carlo, buy it, because it's going to work really well with pretty much almost all of these exotics this week. But look down there at that stat roll. 25 intellect on a 64 stat roll. You got 10 recovery, 10 resilience. Discipline could be a smidge higher for a warlock, but still. Overall, this is kind of fantastic. Like, if you don't get this one and you consider ever enjoying melees, this is kind of your jam. Now, here's the flip side of the equation. General stat usage, 25 in intellect is kind of amazing. The fact that this is a melee-based super and you have 2 in strength, that's where it kind of hurts. This is that point, if you could take one stat section and switch it, like if I could swap mobility and strength, perfect. But unfortunately, you've got 2 in strength and it's melee-based. You're definitely going to want to come in here and put a melee mod to get something out of this one. Overall, still, 25 in intellect for warlocks. If you like melees, do not sleep on this stat roll in this exotic. Kind of cool and pairs really well with Monte Carlo. So if you are potentially looking to, again, work on ability kills when it comes to our upcoming Guardian games, I'm hoping they change it, but last time it was a lot of ability kills, so we will just have to see. Overall, don't sleep on this stat roll. 25 intellect, not too shabby. But that pretty much wraps it up for Xur for this week of March 12th through Monday the 15th. Remember, daylight savings time is over the weekend. And again, tonight, if you are watching this now, tune in on twitch.tv/Ebontis. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be recording our next episode of The Last Word. It's episode 140 with the artist Cobe1 Art. Really awesome, nice guy. Met him before at Guardian Con. Really good dude, cool artist. So I'll be posting a little bit of his art up and kind of shouting him out there. But should be a fun chat, really cool twab and everything. If you guys are new to the channel, you can also find me on Twitter and then right here on YouTube if you are new. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like below. Comment below if you have any thoughts about these exotics. And again, sometimes I stream here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the alert bell so you guys know when new videos or streams go live there. But find us on Twitch tonight for The Last Word, and I'll see you guys soon.